There has been a lot of positivity surrounding Sense: A Cyberpunk Ghost Story ever since Top Hat Studios came out a couple of days ago and said, we will not give in to outrage culture and we will not force developers to censor a game that they've worked really hard on, that they are proud of, because they actually respect developers' creative freedoms. That is not something we see a lot of these days. Too many companies are afraid to give their own opinions on things and are afraid to stand up for themselves. I've talked about the situation with Sense a couple of times now, and I'm someone who's really happy to see them say these things because there's just a lot of people out there who are being negative about the game, and I wanted to be someone who supported this game thoroughly. I really wanted to bring positivity to the situation and defend a group of people who really do genuinely care about the industry. But, like I said, there are a lot of people out there who are really being negative about this situation, who want this game canceled and are willing to threaten the developers because they just don't want people to have a game that they want. But the worst part about all of this negativity and this just toxicity is that there are journalists who are trying to spin this story, saying maybe the developers weren't being threatened at all. Maybe it's all just a PR stunt to get the game to sell more copies, which is absolutely disgusting. And I wanted to read through two articles in particular from websites doing just that. So the first one is from The Gamer. Top Hat Studios and Cyberpunk anime game Sense. Anti-censorship or viral marketing. Top Hat Studios has stated that it will not censor Sense: A Cyberpunk Ghost Story, although it looks like nobody even asked in the first place. So on Friday, January 1st, Top Hat Studios posted a tweet about Sense: A Cyberpunk Ghost Story that's since gone viral. Developed by Suzaku and published by Top Hat itself, Sense is a horror game that perpetually combines the cyberpunk genre with traditional Cantonese folklore. It also boasts an aesthetic that has caused quite a bit of a stir over the last few days, instigating discourse about censorship or a lack thereof. Now, I just want to say, this game had been out on PC for several months. It had actually came out in, I believe it was August 2020, so it has been out for a few months, but we are finally approaching the Nintendo Switch launch of the game, which is launching on January 9th, 2021, so that is why this whole controversy is going on right now. That is why a lot of people are very up in arms about the game, because it is releasing on the Switch. So it says, essentially, Top Hat had suggested that it received a deluge of requests to censor Sense after it was revealed that it would be coming to the Nintendo Switch on January 7th. Oh, okay, I said the 9th. Sorry, 2 days off. In response, Top Hat said it will not censor the game because of self-centered crowds who care solely about grandstanding, and you can read the full statement below. Now, I did read the full statement in a previous video, so make sure to go and watch that if you want. It will be linked in the description, of course, but this game journalist uses very specific wording here. Top Hat has suggested that it received a deluge of requests to censor Sense. Now, as you're going to see, they provide plenty of evidence that they did get death threats, that they did get sent lies. There are a lot of lies being spread about them, that they did get a lot of nasty messages of people basically demanding that they censor this game. But of course, this journalist says suggested that it received those messages. So they say, admittedly, this all reads strangely. A quick Google search will show you that Sense launched for PC back in August 2020 and received around 60 reviews over the course of the 4 months following that. That number has almost tripled since Top Hat published its statement on Friday, which leads to a healthy dose of skepticism as to the veracity of its intentions. One Steam reviewer notes that on January 1st they bought the game to reward Top Hat for giving a big middle finger to the SJW cancel mob, and they had less than, an hour logged at the time of the review. Another reviewer admits that they would never have even given this game a second look if not for the stir on Twitter, but says they appreciate that this developer had the balls to stand up to SJWs and tell them to shove off instead of cowering to the whims of the fickle and perpetually offended. Now, you can tell that this journalist was pretty angry about these because they're specifically pointing out reviews that use the term SJW, and, you know, they're giving the middle finger to the SJW cancel mob. You can tell that they only picked reviews that would help push their narrative more, not real reviews, because there are so many real reviews for the game on places like Steam where people are saying it is a good game, I like it, I think it's interesting. So it says, I could go on, but it is suffice to say that a large amount or of the more recent reviews, which constitute over 60% of the overall amount since August, are just people saying fuck SJWs with barely any playtime. One person even said that they were going to buy a new Switch just to purchase another copy of the game. You can tell that they're pretty angry that people are supporting this game just to basically give the finger to cancel culture and outrage culture. It continues on to say, though, after Top Hat's original tweet, some people, myself included, expressed skepticism as to how truthful the statement was. The evidence above discounts any claims of review bombing, given that there were only 4 reviews on Metacritic. Now, they tried to spin it as maybe this is a PR stunt. Maybe Top Hat doesn't really care about anti-censorship. Maybe they don't give a heck about censorship or anti-censorship. It's all just a PR stunt to make more money. That's not true. I've talked about Top Hat Studios in the past, even like a year ago, a year and a half ago. They have always stood by anti-censorship. They have always said, fuck censorship. This isn't just a new stance that they're kind of pulling out of nowhere to maybe sell more copies of the game. They have stood by this for so long, and they deserve praise for that. At least in my opinion, they do. But I wanted to go to another article that also brings this up, and this article isn't too long. It does say a lot of things similar to the previous article we read, but it's just the way that they word it and the way that they try to play off this situation that really bothers me, and I'm sure bothers the developers behind this project and just a lot of people in general who were excited for this game. So it says, Top Hat Studios, the publisher behind Sense, released a statement on Twitter over the weekend decrying apparent demands for censorship of the title. And they're using words like, it's causing a stir. The console release has caused a stir. They say Top Hat Studios' Twitter statement seemingly came out of the left field. Once it got picked up by sites like Reset Era, many questioned whether there were any widespread demands for censorship to begin with. Others suspected that the publisher released the statement for attention, which it did end up receiving along with support from Twitter users who rushed to purchase the title on Steam in a show of support. Now, in response to this, Top Hat published a thread on Twitter full of screenshots of emails, messages, and tweets criticizing Sense's art style and sexualization. Now, one thing that both of these articles say is that they were sent tweets and emails criticizing Sense's art style and sexualization. Now, I just want to say I think that criticism is okay. Criticism can be healthy, but I just want to show to you a couple of the messages sent to them. Now, you tell me if these are criticisms. Disgusting and sell garbage game. Can't you keep your cesspools on 4chan? Someone said, would be a shame if something was sent to blank, huh? And it's clearly blanked out because they were doxing one of these developers. Someone decided to say disgusting. Hope you get shot. Freaking incels. Someone decided to say, I don't think that Nintendo is going to be happy to learn incel fantasies are being thrown on their platform. Everyone in my network is letting them know you're going to feel really stupid when they pull the rug out from under you. This is not criticism, and this is my problem with these articles. I think that criticism's fine. I think that criticism's good, but this is clearly not criticism, and I'm not even showing you the death threats. I'm not showing you some of the worst messages because the thread does get pretty heated. There are a lot of really, really nasty messages to these developers, and I feel bad. I said this in my last video on the topic, but when an actress like Laura Bailey from The Last of Us Part 2 said that she got death threats, websites like this instantly went to her defense and she gave zero proof that it was happening. Now, of course, I'm not going to question it. I think that, if she's saying she's receiving death threats, I definitely respect that and I definitely understand that. And I did talk about it when she hadn't given any proof, because things like death threats are not a joke. People do not joke about them most of the time. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't defend people saying that they've gotten death threats, but when a studio like Top Hat says that they're getting threats and even shows them, people from mainstream websites doubt their validity. This is why people laugh when they hear Kotaku or Rock Paper Shotgun or The Gamer, because the devs are providing evidence of something bad happening, and writers like these find some way to spin the story to make people believe that they're not real. But when someone like Anita Sarkeesian or Laura Bailey claim to receive harassment, yet show no proof, these journalists don't want to ask for proof because it could be harmful to them during such a rough time. I really feel bad for Top Hat Studios here. But they are a strong group of people. I've talked to them before. There's some great people behind Top Hat, and I definitely think that they're going to get through this. I did purchase a copy of the game. I do plan to support Top Hat. All of the links will be in the description in case you want to go support them as well, like to their website and their Twitter, social media, etc. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Did you purchase the game because of the controversy, because the outrage mobs of social media are trying to get this game and basically this company canceled, or did you decide to pass on the title? If you enjoyed this video though, please make sure to give it a like and share it, and of course if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.